Hey guys, Martin here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video, and so today we are going to be taking a look at the LR Chi-Chi that is the new World Tournament reward. Obviously the World Tournament is currently ongoing, depending on what time this video goes up, because I try and get them all recorded before we start the special event. Obviously I will be live grinding the World Tournament, so if you see this video come up and go check out the channel, because I'm probably either live or going to be live very soon for the special weekend World Tournament Subathon event. So I will be live for hopefully about 8 hours after the beginning of the stream and the grind begins. But I thought we would take a look at, thanks to the private server, we can take a look at her Rainbowed, which of course, you know, best case scenario will be 2 more World Tournaments from now, right? Because you can only get 2 copies at most of the World Tournament Reward LR per World Tournament, and that's only if you come first in your local bracket. So if for everybody else, even if you come second all the way down to, I think, is it 150, you get 1 copy, which means it would take you 5 World Tournaments in order to actually be able to get her to Rainbow. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and just jump in. She does have an entrance animation, that's why I started the video on the map screen. So yeah, we'll jump into the event, take a look at the intro animation here. Alright, so there you go. Nothing like super crazy or anything, but yeah, we got a nice little intro. I kind of want you to be floated off, really. But then I need to get 7 orbs for you if you're going to be in slot 2. Chi-Chi's not really a slot 1 unit, but anyway, we'll take a look at what she does. Now, in terms of the leader skill for this team, her only 220 leader is Mercenary Tao. She does get the 200% from Tien, but obviously he's a yellow coin LR, so he just has 2 200% leads. When it comes to this Goku, she's getting the 200% HP and then 170 attack and defense. Yeah, her only 220 lead is Mercenary Tao, and obviously his team wants to be built in a certain way. Chi-Chi is like a Goku family support. Well, she gives support to like other kinds of support as well, but primarily Goku family. She wants a Goku family character or a Goku on the same turn. And so like you can build a Tao team where you can do that, but it's just they're not a great like Tao team, right? So realistically, the teams you're going to be running her on, she's not going to get a 220 lead. So this is the showcase for this team. Obviously her numbers could be slightly higher on Tao's team, but like I say, we're not going to be running her on that team anyway. So she's got 305k start of turn defense here for turn 1. Her 12 key super raises attack and greatly raises defense for 1 turn. So they're both 1 turn. If the raising attack was stacking, it would have a comma and then the greatly raised defense for 1 turn. So both for 1 turn. Greatly raised defense, obviously good for the 12 key. Then her 18 key super is greatly raised attack and defense for 1 turn, mega colossal damage. So obviously if she does her 18 key super and then gets an additional, that's her greatly raising her defense twice, which is pretty good. And then we've got her passive skill, so entrance animation. When there's an ally on the name whose name includes Goku on the team. So it says obviously Ginyu, Junior, and some of these other ones are excluded, but obviously Kid Goku counts because Kid Goku is the only Goku we have on this team, so obviously he counts. And that gives her 1 time only key 6 attack and defense 159%. So for 1 turn. Sorry, no, it activates once. And then the infinity symbol. So it activates once and she then gets that as part of the intro. For 1 turn only, Goku family allies key 3 attacks 70% for 2 turns. As in, so that activates once and then it gives the buff for 2 turns. Basic effects, attack and defense 100%, high chance to do an additional super, high chance to crit. When there's another Goku family ally in the same turn, another 3 key and 100% attack and defense, chance to launch an additional super, great chance, so 70%, all allies defense 20%, and then when there's an ally whose name includes Goku attacking in the same turn, another 3 key, 159% attack and defense, additional attack that has a great chance to become a super, and all allies defense 30%. When attacking, she gets attack and defense 150%, and then for every attack performed, chance of evading enemies attack 20% within the turn. So she doesn't have any, she doesn't have any dodge chance to start out with. So obviously that means that, you know, she, like I say, not a slot 1 unit, but it's every attack within the turn, not every super attack. So she's going to do her original super. Then if we look at all her effects, she has a high chance to launch an additional super, then a great chance to launch another additional super, and then a guaranteed additional attack that has a great chance to become a super. So minimum, if you have a Goku on rotation with her, she's going to attack twice, and then has 2 potential additional supers and the hidden potential. So if she attacks 5 times in the turn, which is possible, she has a 100% chance to dodge. Now the thing is, these two, for the Goku family ally and the Goku ally, are just chance to launch an additional super, which means they either happen as a super or they don't happen. Whereas the one for having the Goku here is additional attack that has a great chance. So she will always get this, but it could be a normal. So worst case scenario turn for her is she does her 18 key super and then a normal attack, and then that's it. And then obviously you can have any combination in between, including the hidden potential. I don't know if it's safer on this turn. Kid Goku has more. I wonder if I should just put him in slot 1. Can I get 7 orbs? I can. Because then he at least gets the extra. He gets a bunch of extra damage reduction from rainbow orbs as well. So yeah, maybe I should just do this. Plus this gives her Battlefield Diva. So 310k defense now. Goku's up to 660 and he has a decent amount of damage reduction. I don't think this guy hits particularly hard. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this, and then we'll grab this for you. Obviously, ideally, we want to try and get the 2 Kid Gokus on both, like on separate rotations, but I already quit out and restarted the event about 5 times just to actually get Chi-Chi on turn 1. So hopefully this will go smoothly. Kid Goku obviously can do a pretty solid amount of damage, so we're actually kind of lucky he didn't like go full crazy on this turn. So yeah, let's see what we get out of Chi-Chi. So 23 million for her first attack stat, not bad. Considering she is a unit that's got loads of attacks built in, is giving support. She's not a character that I would expect to be dropping like 50 million, you know, on the first turn. So there's 2 supers. So far we've greatly raised our defense 3 times. And then, yeah, takes him out. So post-super defense is going to be pretty good. She gets the extra chunk when attacking as well, 150%. So already from what we saw in the menu, with her having, what, 310, she already then gets another 450 when she attacks. Then, obviously, she gets the greatly raised. She got it, like, 3 times then as well. And she'd attacked 3 times. So even if that was going to be the end of her attacks, she would then also have a 60% chance to dodge. This isn't the best rotation. I mean, I guess Gohan can chill in slot 1 on the first turn easily enough. And then we've got this awesome key for both the Kid Gokus. Let's go ahead and do that. Gohan's going to get supered straight away. Obviously, everybody has the extra buff on this turn. So all these Goku family allies, extra 3 key, 70% attack. But that's obviously the issue with Kid Goku, and kind of always has been since release, his bad key links. Like 3 key extra for the turn, and he still obviously needed 3 key to be able to attack. Of course, his active skill gives him the permanent buff, gives him a little bit of extra key. I mean, that's the thing. He wants to be linked with other DB Saga characters for those specific links. Now, the thing is, the reason why Chi-Chi is not on the full 220%. She's not a youth character. She's not a Dragon Ball Seekers character. Goku's 2 base categories are DB Saga or Earthbred Fighters. She's not on DB Saga either. Because remember, this Chi-Chi is unfortunately stuck in that same issue, like the bracket with the 23rd World Tournament Goku and Piccolo Jr., where because of the JP translation, DB Saga on JP is actually called like the Boyhood Saga. It only counts all of the characters and all of like from the arcs while Goku is still a kid in Dragon Ball. So the 23rd World Tournament, where Goku is now like an adult / like older teenager, and then obviously, you know, reunites with the older Chi-Chi, none of that counts as DB Saga. So she's not on that category, same as the 23rd World Tournament Goku. Which is a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. So yeah, 400k defense on the second turn here. I guess we want to... I'll put you in slot 1 because Daima Goku does get extra dodge on the first turn. So we'll do that. I want to try and make sure Those should drop down. Yeah, I was going to say, make sure we get the orbs for Kid Goku here so that everybody gets that little bit of extra damage reduction as well. But yeah, Chi-Chi seems like a good unit for being on some of these super class teams, like with Goku family units. And the thing is, with her categories, we didn't look at them specifically in the menu here, but her categories are Goku family, Peppy Gals, Earthlings, Bond of Parent and Child, and Earthbred Fighters. Now, interestingly enough, I guess he does have like a World Tournament SR. Because, yeah, Chi-Chi gets Bond of Parent and Child, assumingly because of the Ox King, which Dokkan is weird because, like, characters who you would think should be on Bond of Parent and Child, it seems like a lot of those characters aren't if their parent or child doesn't have a card in the game. And that's the issue with, like, Future Trunks, right? Future Trunks doesn't have Bond of Parent and Child, the one that comes back, like, for the Cell Saga, up until the point where he gets killed by Cell, and that's when Vegeta, like, gets it and stuff. Because Future Bomber just doesn't count, apparently. And the only reasoning that people have had, like, over the years is that, yeah, she doesn't have a card in the game, therefore it doesn't count. Same with, like, I guess even, like, Bulma, like the kid Bulma from the LR Bulma from, like, the DB Saga and everything. She's got a good relationship with her parents, right? We see Dr. Briefs in, I don't know how much you see him in OG Dragon Ball, but, yeah, like, she doesn't have it either. So it's just one of those things where it's a bit weird. So Chi-Chi probably gets it from the... can you tank her without... This is such a bad turn for orbs. Like, with no extra ki, Gohan basically doesn't get any extra damage reduction. Because he's lost his one-turn buff. In fact, yeah, this isn't a great rotation for him at all, really. Maybe I should just float him off and hope Kid Goku can be fine here. Yeah, so Chi-Chi gets it, presumably because of the Ox King. However, that's really good for the future for potential other leader skills and things like that that will come out for other characters, because she's on Goku family and Bond of Parent and Child, which I could very easily see a future release of a Goku or a Gohan or a Goku and Gohan, like any sort of, like, you can very much easily see one of those kind of characters having Goku family or Bond of Parent and Child as part of their 170 and then the other one as part of their plus 50. So when that unit comes out and we get like a new super strong meta Goku family team, this Chi-Chi will be on that full 250% leader skill. And the thing about her that could be really good is if you're using her on that kind of team, like realistically we would be using her as a third slot floating unit, but because this is a showcase for her, we're obviously keeping her on the rotation. The benefit of that for her is if she gets a turn where she does get a bunch of super attacks off, then not only is she able to do a reasonably decent amount of damage in slot 3, but then you've also got the fact that because she builds up a lot of dodge chance, she's either killing the boss in slot 3 before they get a chance to attack her back, or she just does all of those attacks and then the boss survives because maybe it's the first phase and she's there in slot 3, or like the first turn of that new phase if you're in like a multi-phase fight, and then she just dodges because she does a whole bunch of attacks. Obviously the worst case scenario is the turn where she does a super and then a normal, or even just a super and one other super. She's done 2 attacks. That means she has a 40% chance to dodge. And obviously, therefore, against any relatively tough bosses, she doesn't have guard, she doesn't have damage reduction. Like, obviously, then she's going to be in a little bit of trouble. And of course, events that disable dodge are not going to be ideal for her either. So, 25 mil for the first super here. And we get a 14.7. And bear in mind, again, this is all with her being on, in terms of attack and defense, a 170 lead. And there you go. There was a turn we only got 2 attacks. So she only had a 40% chance to dodge. She dodged 1 attack. Then she tanked the rest for double digits. Obviously, Oceanus isn't the craziest boss here or anything. But yeah, that's the big thing that you're going to have to worry about is if she doesn't do a lot of attacks, then she hasn't got a lot of dodge chance. And then obviously her stats aren't like crazy high, because by doing all of those additional supers and greatly raising her defense multiple times, then her defense can get to a fairly reasonable level, which means that she should be tanking bosses' normals pretty well across the board, and obviously have that high dodge chance because she got a bunch of attacks off. It's kind of like a it's like a, not a double-edged sword, it's like a doubly bad thing for her to not get a bunch of attacks, because the attacks are not only increasing her defense by a pretty decent amount so that she can tank normals from these tough bosses, but they're not going to go, her defense isn't going to go up to enough where she's tanking like supers from the hardest hitting bosses. But you also need those attacks, not just for the, not for the defense, but for the dodge chance, right? So that is something that we have to bear in mind. Chi-Chi is sealed, so I'm going to go ahead and do this just because, as it is the showcase unit, we don't want them to just be unable to do anything. So, but yeah, normal rotation with Kid Goku, Incredible Adventure, Guidance of the Dragon Balls, Legendary Power. Does he have Infighter, or is she getting that? Yeah, he has Infighter. I wasn't sure if she was getting that from Gohan. Infighter, of course, giving 15% extra attack and a little bit of a debuff to defense if the enemy can be debuffed, so that's good. So let's do that. The guy, he probably survives until Gohan attack. Either way, I'm going to do Gohan's active here, just so that we can then get the orb so that Gohan's like passive is active, like full passive is active. Because Gohan's just kind of floating around. He's not necessarily the best option for the team, but I wasn't sure. I haven't put together the a Kid Goku team for a while here, and I wanted the units to primarily be Goku family characters, just for Chi-Chi, like giving them the extra support and everything. So obviously, again, you know, you guys know I like to use the Shadow Dragon Boss Rush stage because it's a decent length and it's not like super hard, but the bosses at the end can still hit hard. I say that, and then there's a lot of times where we bring teams that aren't like super strong into this event, and then we get up to the end and like die. So also that is a thing you have to be aware of as well, is that Chi-Chi is a support unit. She's here to provide support for the team. There very much will be instances and turns like that where we don't actually even get to see her do any attacks or anything, because, you know, we're just going to end up killing the boss before she gets to attack, which is kind of one of those things where I might Ghost Usher here actually, just because there's a couple of int units on the rotation. We just want to see the Chi-Chi rotation back again. But I mean, yeah, she's a support unit, so that kind of is her role, to buff everybody else, right? So if you're running her as a slot 3 floating support, she's only going to be around every like 3 turns. She's just there to buff everybody up. I mean, giving everybody the 50% defense as long as there's a Goku in the same turn is pretty good. And even, to be fair, even the first like 2 turns, the 70% attack, like that can make a huge difference, like we say, in the future if we get a new really good Goku family team. I mean, obviously some of the best units in the game still are like the blue Goku from the GDC, well, blue Goku and Vegeta, but yeah, it starts off as Goku is on Goku family because of the way reversible exchange works. The Gohan, Goten and Trunks are on Goku family. Like obviously Goku family is a category that's always going to get buffed because we're always going to get new Gokus, new Gohans, and so Chi-Chi being able to give them 70% extra attack on the first and second turn when she appears is pretty good, especially for shorter events, right? So let's do this. Grab those for you. Then we can get those for you. So Chi-Chi, around about this point in the event, 287k. Her start of turn defense is definitely not anything crazy, and because she doesn't get dodge until she attacks, the other big thing to think about is the fact that like she will not be good against AoEs. Unfortunately, I think we are stuck in that sort of cycle now where we're just going to keep killing the boss before Chi-Chi gets to attack, which is annoying. Which I guess, yeah, is one of those things that can be annoying about some of these characters that we see release, where like she has the potential to do multiple attacks in a turn and therefore then look really good, but as a floating support unit there will be a lot of instances where you don't even get to see her attack. But it's kind of one of those things where for a showcase it is annoying because we want to see all the things that she can do, but it is just one of those things where that's what she's supposed to be doing, right? Supporting the team and making sure everybody else has got the defense, is able to take the hits. I just realized I was going to float off the Kid Chi-Chi, but she dodge is disabled by this Ice Shenron, which is really annoying. So I guess we'll just do this. and then grab these quickly. So yeah, I mean, the biggest downside I would say, I think her unit is pretty good. The biggest downside I would say is the fact that with the teams that she's on currently, obviously like only getting the big leader skill, like her other actual 200% leads, she's on the 200% lead for Roshi because obviously he has 200% for Peppy Gals. She's on the 200% lead for Yamcha. I mean, Yamcha's easy A, it's pretty good, because obviously she's an Earthbred fighter and an Earthling. But yeah, she's not on like a bunch of really, really good teams at the moment. Because like Bond of Parent and Child has still never gotten a new leader. I mean, Vegeta and Trunks have their easy A, but like, are you going to put them on that team where you'd have to make sure, other than the Vegeta and Trunks, like almost every other unit would have to be Goku family, because you're going to have a Vegeta and Trunks on both rotations, Chi-Chi floating, so then the other unit on that, on like both rotations, has to be a Goku. Which, I mean, you can have the blue Goku, like you could kind of make a build for that, but Vegeta and Trunks aren't the craziest unit, nor are they, you know, a unit that people are running like their double lead team much at the moment, like in the meta. Peppy Gals obviously has had a bunch of buffs recently, but I would say is still not like a proper full-on team. I mean, like I say, she is on the Tao team, but again, she wants a Goku on the rotation. Tao wants extreme or like mission execution allies. It's not exactly the best fit. But remember what we said at the beginning of the video. You're not going to have this Chi-Chi like rainbow, or even with 2 dupes, until like 2 dupes. You're not even gonna. That's not even gonna happen until the next World Tournament. Although, yeah, she got a bad turn with attacks there and then took a 2.8 million super. So events that disable dodge, obviously not going to be ideal for her either. But honestly, I think from what we saw, like from the numbers and everything, I think she's pretty good for a World Tournament LR, right? Because remember, even if it is a long, slow, painful process if you're not getting #1 in the local, you get a copy of her for free by playing the World Tournament, because you only have to get to, like I said, I think it's 150 in the local to get 1 copy, which obviously if you're someone who just does the bare minimum like 23 million point grind and then stops, depending on your group, you know, you're potentially not going to be in the top 150. But usually it's not that bad to be in the top 150. It's the trying to get to #1 and getting 2 copies, which is going to be the massive pain. But obviously, again, like she's not going to be duped up and ready to go for a couple more World Tournaments, which means a few months. Which, thinking about the time frame now, like we might get 1 more World Tournament before the end of the year. And then obviously we'll be going into next year. We'll be having the anniversary. If we are going to get Daima Goku, or if we're going to have some other big Goku family characters. So by the time even the earliest people can have Chi-Chi like rainbowed, we are potentially going to have some better teams for her to be on. But overall, I think she's pretty decent. Not the craziest, but she's a free-to-play LR, right? So in terms of looking at it through that perspective, I think she is pretty good. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Are you going to go ham in this first World Tournament? Unfortunately, whenever there's a new World Tournament LR, people do go pretty crazy because they want to try and get the 2 copies straight away from the first time that the unit is available. So is that going to be you, or are you just going to do what you normally do and chill? And this will be one of those things where she'll be rainbow in, you know, 5 World Tournaments. But let me know your thoughts on the LR Chi-Chi down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.